In the year 2028, one Big Mac will equal $1 million. From the Gospel of John McAfee. Bro, just learn to code. The Project Freedom Podcast.
Boom. I'm Josh from ELP, and welcome to the Project Freedom Podcast, episode number 12, where we discuss anything and everything that has to do with sovereign individualism and high T. All right, guys. Tonight, we're going to talk about something different than we have in the past. Most of you guys, and shout out to my guys in the chat, Blockchain Mac, what is up, my dude? What is up? Tom Graff, yo, yo, yo. Wade Emery, Friday night. Indeed, it is Friday night. Christian Soto in the chat with the Big Mac emojis. Cody Mouse, what is up? Babe Honker, my body is ready. Yes, Babe Honker, my body is ready too. Okay, guys, guys and gals of the audience tonight. So, most of my compadres in the chat, some of you guys have taken the Crimson Capsule already. Some of you guys have taken the Orange Capsule as well. But tonight, we are going to talk about the soy capsule, or rather the soy pill. And just testosterone in general for my male audience out there. And, you know, if I don't think I have a lot of female viewers, but this is kind of important too. Nick Sledge in the chat says testosterone. Yes, testosterone indeed. Okay, guys. So real quick, I'm going to just state some of my credibility here. All right. And I wanted to preface this episode tonight by letting you guys know none of this is medical advice. Okay. I'm not a doctor, although I am a doctor of common sense. But I know a thing or two in my 29 and a half years of dealing with hormones and testosterone so far. Not all 29 years, but so here's some of my credibility, guys, just so you guys know that I'm not just like talking out of my ass and that I know a thing or two about this stuff. Okay. At least as far as someone who has my experiences would know. So right off the bat, I've been quote unquote bodybuilding or participating in the hobby and the sport on a competitive level in bodybuilding since 2010. Okay. I have lost my natty card in about 2016. Okay. I'm an ex-competitive bodybuilder on the national level. I placed first place in my first show. I've done, 5 total shows so far, which each of those take like about a whole year to get ready for. I've done 2 national level shows, which, I mean, back in the day, you pretty much had to just place like top 3 in your class at a local show to be qualified to go to a national show. But then actually getting to the national show is an entire whole like thing in itself. And after a while, after like my second year of competing, you had to be top 2 and to get nationally qualified. But I was nationally qualified 3 times and I only acted upon it twice. Right. Also, I have worked with Dave Palumbo, who is basically like he is not a doctor. However, he was in medical school for about 3 years and he just basically quit because he just wanted to be a bodybuilder. But he's an incredibly smart guy. People from around the world, literally the world, pay this guy boatloads of money to work with him and to just get his knowledge. He has a bunch of seminars, Dave Palumbo, guys. If you guys don't know him, Google him. You guys will see. He actually lives very close to me. I'm kind of like a family friend with this guy because I worked with him again for 2 years. And I've learned a lot from this guy. Okay. I've also worked with a guy named James Brown or JB Prep for about 2 years too. He's also a pretty well-known guy. I worked with him after Dave just because I just wanted something fresh and new. But all these people or both those 2 guys I've talked about, they know a thing or two about the soy pill and testosterone, how the male body works, a bunch of stuff. Okay, guys. So just letting you guys know, I'm not just making this stuff up. Okay, I actually know a thing or two. I'm not a rocket scientist per se on the topic at hand tonight, but I do know a thing or two. Okay. me take a check at the chat real quick. Randall J says leg day every day. Yes, indeed, my friend. Christian Soda says looking crisp. Thank you. I put the camera closer this time. For whatever reason, the camera doesn't want to like focus 100% all the time. So I have to like, I'll do these weird things. I don't know if you guys can tell if I move my hand, it'll focus on my hand for a second. And then if I move it back, it'll refocus on me. But yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Christian Soda, for the comment that it was, excuse me, that is the point, is to look crisp. Nick Sledging says, my levels are outstanding for millennials. They probably are, knowing you, Nick, especially compared to other millennials. So I'm not surprised to hear that. Cody Mouse says, I should probably check your T levels. Yes, everyone should check their T levels. Honestly, guys, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but everybody should check their T levels once you get past the age of 23. And we're going to talk about that in a second as to why. But Kyle W says, what's up, everybody? I think I know which Kyle that is. That is my good friend Kyle from over in Developer Direction with me. Could be wrong. Cody Mouse says he's a doctor in New Jersey, though. Cody, do you know Dave Palumbo? Do you know him? He's from that area, so he lives in Florida now, actually. Antonio, what is up, my friend? Good to see you again. Max Dignitas, hope you lost your natty card to someone special. Max, I got to tell you, I did indeed lose that card to someone very special. It was a nice little bottle of testosterone propionate, and oh boy, was it special. Namaguchi Sandada says, I love that only 9 of us are watching. Makes me feel like an upcoming OG. Thank you, Yamaguchi. I hope I pronounced it right. You are indeed an OG, and you will be. Kyle W says, yep. All right, cool. I know which Kyle you are now. Cody Mouse says, no, LOL notes joke might only be in that part of the U.S. Okay. Is he, so like that's actually Cody, he has a pretty well-known last name that other people share with. Look, guys, I'll show you guys this guy. We'll see. Dave Palumbo. Palumbo. Let's see 1 second real quick. He owns a media channel on YouTube called RX Muscle. Let me share my screen real quick so you guys can see. But this guy is probably the most intelligent guy in the fitness and bodybuilding realm. 1 second, guys. If you're just patient for 1 second, let me share my screen and you guys can look right here. Okay. All right. So this is Dave Palumbo, guys. We can read his bio real quick. David Christopher Palumbo is an retired American bodybuilder. He competed in the first bodybuilding competition in 1990, an NPC national competition in New York where he placed 6th place, weighing in 168 pounds. In just 5 years, Dave Palumbo would gain 70 pounds and win the overall at the 1995 NBC Junior Nationals. So, guys, back in the day when this dude was competing, it was like it was a lot harder to win shows for quite a few reasons. Reason number one is because like the talent was a lot better back then than they are now, and that's also something we're going to get into tonight as well. But also because the standards for judging were a lot bigger too. But one more thing. Let me show you guys his YouTube channel. If you guys want to check him out, you guys want to check out RX Muscle on their YouTube. This is their YouTube channel, guys. This dude, there's a wealth of knowledge in here. I'm surprised he only has 265,000 subscribers. Look, Dave Palumbo is low key, guys. Dave Palumbo is a very, very wealthy individual, and a majority of his wealth did not come from bodybuilding. I don't want to make this a bodybuilding stream, but bodybuilding is in nature a very, very poor source of income as far as competing. The people who actually make good money don't make their money from competing. They can't depend on like a couple $25,000, $50,000 prize wins a year, which most of these people it takes. How about I see this way, guys? When I was competing on a national level, it would probably cost anywhere between like $8 to $12,000 for me to do one whole show, everything included, and maybe a little bit more. So, but on like in the big boy ranks and the professional ranks, it might cost them $100,000 to get ready for a show, and then they might win $50,000. So Dave Palumbo made a majority of his wealth, and he's extremely wealthy. Because of his knowledge, people pay him for his information, okay? And he's got a bunch of different videos and playlists and stuff about hormone replacement therapy, HRT and TRT. Okay, so guys, like seriously, go. I'm not shilling Dave's channel. Dave doesn't need me to shill, but he's a legitimate wealth of knowledge. Okay, I've learned everything I know from this guy in the beginning. So yeah, that's all that has to be said about Dave. Cody. Other than that, he's not a doctor, but he was in medical school for quite some time. Okay. Oh, gotta get caught up the chat again. Okay, so let's see. Cody Mouse says, "LOL." No, oh, never mind. We read that one. Dave Graff said, "Does he even live though?" Not anymore, Dave. Not anymore. He does not. He's aged beyond the need for lifting. He kind of has like permanent. He's really skinny now. I think he weighs like 155 pounds now, and he has 3 kids. And he's aged beyond the need to work out. He kind of has that perma muscle. Yamaguchi says, "This is a very off-topic question, but I hope you're able to answer." Yeah, dude, no problem. How can someone combine crypto with medicine or biology? I would love to find a way. Any thoughts? Okay, that's actually a really good question. And this is going to be a hard question to answer, but how can you combine it? Do you mean, Yamaguchi, do you mean like cryptocurrency itself, or do you mean just like blockchain technology in general with like the medical field or biology? Because honestly, guys, I no longer hold any Cardano because honestly, I hate Charles Hobson's. He's the most annoying person to listen to ever. I think he's like pompous developer, which you guys know how I feel about soy devs, and we can talk about soy devs in this stream as well, because I would say that it's on topic. But that's one reason why I don't hold any more Cardano. But and also because they still don't have smart contracts on their platform, right? But one of the things that Cardano is supposed to be used for is, I believe, I don't know why the term is not coming to my head, but supply chain tracking, Yamaguchi. So one thing that blockchain can be used for, as far as like the medical field, is like supply chains for medical supplies, for medical devices, for food, for medicine. If you guys don't know, there's a lot of fake, quote unquote, fake medication that's produced in India and in China. There's also a lot of real medication produced in both those places. But I did see a Netflix documentary probably about like 3 years ago about the Indian false pharmaceutical market, and essentially like I'm not going to like throw random numbers because I don't remember, but the amount of profit that these false companies make on a yearly basis was almost equivalent to what like American pharmaceutical companies make. And keep in mind, American pharmaceutical companies, American pharmaceuticals, the prices are like extremely expensive compared to those places. So these people are making a lot of profit. So to answer this question, basically like that's a good use case right there. I mean, if you have on a blockchain in a ledger an account of where each of these medications originated from, and if they were used by someone else, if this is the original packaging or something like that. I mean, dude, I couldn't think of any better use case in that realm than that. And I'm sure that there's more, Yamaguchi, but actually, I feel like that was a good answer, but let me marinate on that, because I'm sure something else will come up. Max Dignita says, but does he own Boomer Coin? Does he own this guy right here? I don't know if Dave does. Dave is legit a boomer, dude. Dave is a super boomer, so I don't know if he owns any of these, but he should. I was texting him about probably like 4 weeks ago about a giant fucking sand iguana that I've been seeing near my condo. Dave's a man of many trades. He also owns a reptile company, and he's like a worldwide recognized snake breeder. Okay. Which is why he moved from New York to Florida. One of the reasons why, obviously Florida is a lot better than New York. We all know that, but no offense, my New York people. But I was texting him about this iguana because he likes reptiles and knows a lot about him. And I was asking what it was. And we got into some kind of conversation because he recently had cancer and then he defeated it. And I was telling myself, I was going to tell him, like, dude, I should tell this guy to buy Bitcoin. I was just going to like drop like a random text to him, like in the middle of the conversation, like, yo, hey, buy Bitcoin, thank me later. But then he'd probably be like, what the fuck is this millennial telling me to do? What I don't even know what a boomer coin is. Antonio says, I used to want to get so juicy that when they would have that they would have to install a lunk alarm for me at the Olympia, that would be a huge level of juiciness. Yamaguchi says blockchain technology and medicine or cryptocurrency itself. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that I hope that answer helped you. Soy for sure. Yamaguchi says helping kids in Africa. Yeah, that was that's what they're saying, right? But I mean, if they were smart, they would try to be utilizing that everywhere. And I remember back in 2017, and I know we're getting off topic again, but guys, I remember back in 2017 there was like some is it VeChain? VeChain was supposed to be doing supply chain management as well. I don't even know if they even do that anymore, or if they ever got finished. Cody Mouse says catch that iguana and make Pablo wrestle it. It's a good idea, Cody. I might have to make my little nephew do that. Pablo needs some more responsibility, so I think chasing and catching iguanas would probably be good for his spirit. Randall says he's the American Steve Irwin. Yeah, he basically is like the American Steve Irwin on steroids, literally, although he's not on steroids anymore. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Feel free to ask whatever you guys want, whenever you guys want. This is not, like you said earlier, man, you guys are the OGs. So, all right, guys, back to the topic at hand. So the soy pill. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the book Estrogeneration. I know Pablo knows that book. I've actually never completed that book. I never had to because I've just basically read the preface of it, and a majority of the things and topics that book goes over, I've been well aware about since probably 2012. Again, guys, I need to make a new tinfoil hat, all right? Because my dog actually bit the other one, and I had to throw it away. But if I had my tinfoil hat, you guys could pretend that I'm putting it on here right now, okay? So it's just tinfoil hat time. But back in the day, guys, when I was in college, I was so obsessed with conspiracy theories because it was like I was coming into adulthood and everything that I knew in my world was being questioned because it was like, oh my God, everything I know is a lie. But one of the conspiracies that I was starting to become woke on was the estrogeneration conspiracy. And what we're going to get into tonight, we're going to go over, we can talk about all that. But I've been familiar that testosterone levels in men have been on a steady decline decade after decade, okay? And it's not a joke. There's actually scientific data to back that up. And nobody's talking about this stuff, right? Okay, some people are, but they're not talking about this in the mainstream media. What are they talking about in the mainstream media, though? Speaking of the soy pill, because that is what you guys are here for, correct? The soy pill. What are they discussing in the mainstream media? Well, all right, Caitlyn Jenner, proud individual to do X, Y, and Z. Xerxes is proud that they're Xerxes now, whatever, right? And again, I'm not here to hate or to talk down on what can I say? How can I label these people without being negative and or being dismantled in the algorithm? Okay, we'll just call them the rainbow people, okay? I'm not here to talk down about the rainbow people, okay? There's nothing wrong with being a rainbow person. If you want to be a rainbow person, that's totally okay, right? But I also don't want it shoved in my face in the same way that I'm sure other people would not appreciate if me, a testosterone laden and fueled individual, was to go up to people in elevators and be like, hey, you see this? You see my muscle? You guys want to look at it? Hey, you want to know how I got these? Right? I'm not going to go in the same way. I'm not going to go and be a fucking ridiculous asshole and try to rub my belief set and my ideologies onto people that I randomly don't know, right? Because I just want to be left alone, and I'm sure they just want to be left alone as well, right? But what are they talking about in the news? All that stuff, right? Things that, quite frankly, sorry, rainbow people, I just don't care about. Not that I don't care about you because you're rainbow people, but I just, quite frankly, I don't fucking care about anybody outside of my inner circle. So I most certainly don't care about you or your strange soy pill agenda, right? But again, I did want to preface that and let you guys know that I'm not here to put those people down. But they're not talking about this other stuff that we're going to talk about tonight, okay? They are talking about the exact opposite of that, though, which is kind of strange, right? It's kind of strange that there's almost sort of an agenda to have a negative connotation on the word testosterone. Think about that, guys, right? When you hear that word, how do you guys feel inside when you guys hear that word, testosterone? Some people, you might feel empowered, right? Some people might immediately think of a drug when you hear that word, right? Like testosterone. That's people think of that as a drug, right? Even though it is a hormone and not a drug, all right? As far as the sense of a medicinal, as far as of a conventional medicinal drug or the sense of a recreational drug, right? It's not a recreational drug at all. Although some people will argue against that and say that it can be used in a recreational manner, which it can, but it's not going to get you high. I can promise you guys that you can inject as much testosterone as you want. You are not going to get high. Ask me how I know. Okay. Christian Soto says, wait, you don't do that, Josh? Unsubscribe. Oh God, please no. Max Dignitas Joker voice. Want to know how I got these lads? Cody, LMAO, Max, he thinks you're funny too. Max, you're fucking hilarious, dude. Like, you need to do like stand-up comedy. I'm not even kidding. Rainbow people. Antonio says, I think they will naturally be weeded out of the human race. They won't be able to reproduce. Okay, and we're also going to talk about this as well. We're going to try to keep this as YouTube friendly as we can. Okay, guys. I think it's part of the population control agenda. Hold on, Antonio. I have something for you. All right, guys, stream's over. We already figured it out. We can end. I'll see y'all later. Just kidding. Yamagachi says, I feel alive, but better than I would feel. But before I would feel guilty. Yeah, exactly. You'd feel guilty, right? If you hear that word, testosterone, you feel guilty, right? It makes you, or at least we're programmed to feel that way, right? But okay. And keep this in mind, guys. And I don't, again, guys, I usually don't prepare a lot before my streams because a lot of the stuff that I talk about are things that I already know. So I'm going to go bounce back and forth in the topics here because this is something that I used to be extremely passionate about and I actually know a lot about. So if I bounce back and forth, let me know, guys. If you want me to talk about something specific or slow down on something and hone in on something, I will. But I'm about to verbally regurgitate all of my knowledge to you guys, everything that to my best capabilities, so you guys understand this stuff, okay? But yes, you would feel guilty, right? You feel guilty when you hear that word testosterone, right? It's bad. It's got a negative connotation to it. What about what do you think about it? It's a drug, right? When you hear that word testosterone, it's a drug. It's a dangerous substance, right? But is it though? Why is it dangerous? Is that because of steroids, anabolic, androgenic steroids, AAS for short, we can just say, or I can just say roids or juice, whatever you guys want. Because I don't think that the algorithm cares if I say roids or juice, but yeah, we'll just say juice or gear. As my millennial generation would say, in the bodybuilding realm, we didn't say juice or roids. Those were like frowned upon words. Like if you're the dude at the gym that came up to somebody who's like, "Yo, bro, where do you get your roids at?" That you'd be like, "All right, that dude's weird. Go away." Gear, GEAR, like gears in a car. That's what we call it. So why is it dangerous? Is it because gear is a drug? And if someone takes it, they'll rip their clothes off. And like as soon as they take that, hold on. This isn't what you guys, this isn't what I'm about to use it for, but hey, this is what I clean my camera with, guys. So we're gonna pretend like this right here is I probably shouldn't even say that word either, but here. The thing that you do this, that goes in here, right? I think that everyone's got to do right now, right? That everyone's we're all supposed to be doing, right? I hope you guys got your thing, your jab. I hope you guys got your jab. I want to let you guys know I have about 15 jabs for the crab 17. Just to make sure I got the Morgan and Morgan. I got 2 of the Morgan and Morgans. I got the special ELP jab. If you guys know, I am fully VAXXXD. All right. Just letting you guys know. Acupuncture. Randall J says acupuncture. Yes. Okay. But why is this stuff bad? Is it because when someone, as soon as they take the acupuncture, it goes in their arm or wherever, their glute, or if they want to acupuncture themselves in your lat, if you're a freak, sure, whatever. Is it because when they take that immediately they have testosterone coursing through their veins, and that person will do this and freak out, and then go up in the street and just like, I don't know, kill a bunch of people? Is that why? That actually doesn't happen, guys. It doesn't happen at all. In fact, it is an impossibility. Although there are some of those anabolic androgenic steroids out there that are 100% can affect your mood for sure and can do it fast. But the ones that are like that are not readily available, and they're pretty much all discontinued because that's the case. And if someone were to continually take those, they would be so miserable they would have to stop. So, I mean, that's never been a problem, okay? But, so is anybody familiar with the history of the Major League Baseball and steroids? You guys all remember all that stuff, right? Back in the day, your boys were all, one after one, they were getting caught taking roids. Some of them were taking like Winstrol or this and that, whatever, right? They'll come up on a piss test. And what happened after that, guys? Because if you guys don't know, before this class of drugs now used to not be as they were in a kind of gray area. Okay, guys, in most countries, these things are legal. In Japan, recreational steroid use is 100% legal. In Mexico and pretty much all Central and South American countries, they're legal. In Canada, I think Canada's pretty strict about it, if I remember. But I do know that I believe that in Canada you can own these things and use them, but you cannot buy or sell them. So it creates this weird I think because of their law, they're like we can't make this illegal, but we can make it illegal to buy and sell it so that no one will ever have it here. So it's very hard to get that stuff in Canada. In the UK, same exact thing. It's legal to use it, but you can't buy and sell it. However, in the UK, you can make them yourself, right? It's not illegal in the UK to order the raw materials and to just brew this stuff at home, which a lot of young men do. Okay, but yeah, so back in the good old 80s, the primetime 80s, which I was not alive in, this stuff started becoming illegal. And then what happened? There was the basically like kind of like reefer madness mania, but it was instead of being honed on weed and other stuff, it was moved over to steroids. Okay, and then they classified all this stuff as illegal drugs. I think they're like class C. They're considered class C narcotics or whatever the fucking term is. And yeah, and that was basically it's a way to regulate this stuff. Okay, and there is actually some political reasons as to why, and I'm not 100% certain all said political reasons, but they're definitely from my understanding, there was some political reasons as to why they wanted these things illegal. And if we want to go real tinfoil hat here, back to this comment up here, back to this comment down here. This is also one of the reasons I believe politically it is these things are illegal and regulated to maximum capacity, but also because of the soy pill. Okay, the soy pill, right? So, what is testosterone? So, guys, if you guys don't know, obviously testosterone is the primary male sex hormone. Okay, but let's let me get a Wikipedia definition for you guys, so we can be extra prim and proper here and not cut any corners. So we can go and read off a. Let's see. I don't want the definition of the drug. I want the definition of the actual hormone. Okay, here we go. Testosterone. All right. Okay, guys. Check this out. All right, so let me zoom in here real quick. Testosterone is the primary sex hormone and anabolic steroid in males, okay? And yes, it's basically just, guys, it is the primary sex hormone in men, okay? This is what the testosterone molecule looks like. If you guys ever see anybody wearing a shirt like that, I think that's low-key pretty cool. I've seen plenty of people wear those shirts. Okay, but that's all it is. It is the hormone that makes men men. Okay, so what happens if back in the let's take it even further back. All right, let's go back to like the days of ancient Egypt. Is anybody familiar with what a eunuch is? Anybody woke on the eunuchs? Tom Graff. Shout out to Sammy Sosa. Yeah. Cody Mouse hashtag make athletes juice again. Dude, look, Cody, they are all juicing. They're just getting away with it because it can easily be done. And honestly, guys, if everyone were to just accept that, in order for us to continually improve in sports, that this stuff is just going to be used, we should just accept it. Babe Honker says, quick, Jamie, pull up the article, BuzzFeed journalist, 300 milligrams of testosterone. Dude, somebody send that link in here if you can. I remember that article. That was hilarious. Max Dignita says, no genitals. Yes, Max. That is what a eunuch is. Cootie Mouse says, feminized males. Yeah, okay, so they're basically feminized males. They are. But that, guys, basically a eunuch is, back in the ancient Egypt, if a someone, and sorry guys, I don't know the social economical hierarchy of ancient Egypt very much, okay? But obviously they have different rankings of people. People in the upper class, I think like the pharaohs and the quote unquote people who were quote unquote royalty, when they had a young daughter, okay, they had a young daughter. Times were tough back then, right? Like you could just go out into the wilderness and get eaten by a monster for what they didn't know every single animal so far, right? You just go and get eaten by a monster, and people would, how does Donovan Sharp say that word backwards? Well, you guys know. The one thing that men do that's inherently like kind of fucked up to the female species, okay? They would just do that to them, right? And also at the same time, thank you, Greg. I will check that. At the same time, guys, okay, Greg, I got it. Thank you. Sorry, guys. At the same time, these people who are in royalty, like someone could just kidnap a 6-year-old daughter of the Pharisees, right? Or, kidnap them and do horrific things to this young child, this young female, or they could take them for ransom, right? So how do they find people to watch these daughters for them, these young girls, and trust them? And they needed someone they were either going to pick a man or a woman, right? But if you pick a woman, okay, guys, I'm going to be really quiet. I'm going to be really quiet when I say this because apparently this isn't real, and some people are going to be really upset. All right, but okay. So there's two different species of humans. There's a male and a female, two subspecies, I guess you could say. Okay, two SEX, ES. Maybe we shouldn't say that either, but one of them is physically superior because they were designed to be that way. Now that doesn't mean that they're inherently less valuable people, but just one of them is physically superior. Okay, all right. So just want to get that out there. All right, so between a male or a female, what if you wanted someone who could physically protect somebody as a bodyguard? Who would you choose, guys? Comment sense answer, right? I don't think I need to ask the chat that, or I don't think you guys don't know the answer to that, all right? And also, but out of those two, which one can also go wrong on you? Which one can go badly? Which one of those sexes can kill you more easily too if they want to turn their back on you? Well, obviously the male as well, right? So what did they do? They would castrate these men from an early age. I think it was like in the first 10 years of their life, they would castrate them, all right? So they would let them mature physically a little bit. But yeah, so basically they had no cock and balls, all right? They had no fruit and bananas downstairs, okay? Like they took the whole thing off. They didn't just, Max Editas in the chat said that they castrated him. Yeah, they did, but they didn't just neuter them, is what I mean. They took all of it, right? And so basically, because of that, and we're going to talk about testosterone in a second here, when we're going to finish this definition, but the ability for these men to produce this hormone that we're looking at on the screen right here was significantly lowered. Okay. However, they were raised through enough time to where they had, developed a little bit of a muscle mass, more than what their female counterparts would have. But they're also docile, right? Because they don't have these extra hormones, this primary masculine sex hormone into their body. They're more controllable. They were more docile. They were more trustable, and they weren't going to, do devious acts to the Pharisees' 6-year-old daughter who they need to be their bodyguard for, right? But at the same time, they were masculine in nature, physically speaking, at least, so they could defend them. And their life since they were castrated was basically like they were sexless, right? They just didn't care about sex. And they were quite effeminate personality-wise, from my understanding, okay? So why does that matter? Well, because testosterone, again, is the primary sex hormone and anabolic steroids in males. I mean, this part about anabolic steroids could be left out. All right, in male humans, testosterone plays a key role in the development of the male's reproductive tissues, such as the testes, baby please, and the prostate, all right, as well as promoting secondary sexual characteristics, such as increased muscle, bone mass, and the growth of body hair. In addition, testosterone in both sexes is involved in health and well-being, all right? Okay, and keep in mind, guys, in both sexes, all right? In addition, testosterone in both sexes is involved in health and well-being. That's crazy because so far, you guys have probably never even heard that. The fact that testosterone could be considered to be something that's healthy, right? You guys have probably never heard that before, right? But it is, and we're going to talk about it as well tonight. And in the prevention of osteoporosis, right? Sorry, guys. So you guys know that women, once they go past, women can develop osteoporosis a lot, and that's a huge reason why. And in actuality, guys, there are a lot of women out there who literally need elder women who need, or maybe they don't need, but they would severely benefit from testosterone replacement therapy. And again, these dosages for women are like incredibly low, and it's just enough to facilitate the natural production that they should have, but no longer because of the soy pill, but or just because they're old, right? When you're a woman, you get older. If you're a man, you get older. Anybody, all hormone levels tend to drop. Okay. Testosterone is a steroid from the androsterone class. It's not. It's from the testosterone class. All right. Which is, I mean, androstenedione is like a subset of androgenic hormones. But anyway, class containing keto and hydroxyl groups as positions 3 and 17 respectively. Okay. It is biosynthesized, okay? And here's the part about the drugs, okay? It's biosynthesized in several steps from cholesterol, all right? And this is, never mind. They're talking about how it's biosynthesized in the body, right? Biosynthesis, right? Okay. In several steps from cholesterol, and it's converted into the liver through inactive metabolites, all right? It exerts its action through binding to activating the androgenic receptors, okay? So yes. If you are a men, you have a large amount of androgen receptors. Females have androgen receptors too. All right. All right. So that's what testosterone is, guys. Okay. So if we actually look at I didn't expect the Wikipedia to have this in the first sentence of the definition. All right. So okay. Testosterone. The definition of testosterone should have nothing to do with anabolic steroid. So if we were going to talk about an anabolic steroid, maybe the definition that would involve that would be something like testosterone enanthate or testosterone propionate or sustenance or some actual pharmaceutical generic name of a chemical that is made in a lab to synthesize these synthetic hormones or make these hormones synthetic. Okay, those are drugs. All right, but that is what the media or I guess Wikipedia would tell you about testosterone. Okay, but what do they say about estrogen? We're gonna get deep here, guys. All right. So if I look up estrogen wiki, let's see if they have something similar. Let's see. I'm gonna see if they include something, which I think that they're probably not gonna include, which they should if they're gonna talk about testosterone being a drug, but they probably don't. So let's just see. Let's check this out, guys. All right, back again. Estrogen or estrogen is a category sex hormone responsible for the development and regulation of the female reproductive system and sexual sex characteristics. All right, so first sentence, they didn't say anything about drugs. All right, nothing about synthetic drugs in here, okay, in the first sentence. Whereas that's the first thing that they put in the first sentence of testosterone. Now let me ask you guys another question, okay? And I just wanted to show that for a point. Let me ask you guys another question. So who do you think out of males and females, obviously male bodybuilders, they take gear, right? And obviously testosterone is one of these quote unquote gears, right? Testosterone's a drug, right? It's bad. We have to hide it. Because why? Because apparently, by their nature of the definition that synthetic hormones are dangerous. Okay. And we should regulate people who have it. But did you guys know that women take steroids? A lot of them do. Probably like, I don't know. Let's find out. Population of, or we'll say percent of women on birth control. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys didn't know, birth control is synthesized estrogen. It's actually a combination of estrogen and progesterone. All right, but it is synthesized hormones, female sex hormones that, if you're a girl, you can basically go into, you don't even need to be a citizen of the United States. You can go to any female clinic on the corner and just get free steroids, right? Just get their free birth control, okay? So let's just look at this here. Okay, in 2015 and 2017, approximately 65% of women ages 15 to 49 were currently using contraception. All right. There you go. So right off the bat, Max just got him. Yes, we did, Max. We fucking got him. All right. So who uses steroids more, men or women? Obviously, you guys know women do, and they don't even realize it. They don't even think, they don't even make the connection in their brain that, hey, I'm using this birth control. This is literally a steroid for the female sex hormone, right? And that's totally okay, right, guys? That's totally okay. Why? Because all of them do it. It's totally okay, right? So is anybody starting to see what I'm getting at here? I hope you guys do. Excuse me, guys. Let me move my chair back so I can relax and stop leaning up next to this mic. Okay, guys. So what do we know so far? Women take this pill on a regular basis, and they don't even realize that they're taking synthetic steroids, okay? And it's free. It's legal and free, and you don't have to go through a bunch of paperwork to get it, all right? Maybe putting that chair back was not so good because now the camera would focus. Guys, I need you guys to come in here and help me fix this goddamn camera. I just had to get right next to it. But if a guy wants to live a healthier and better life because he is, I don't know, let's just say age 25, and he has on blood work, he has proof that his testes, baby please, his levels of testosterone are not optimal and are in fact quite low. But because he's 25, they're going to say, oh, I don't know, little Jimmy, it's a dangerous substance to put inside your body. Are you asking me for drugs, Jimmy? Are you serious, Jimmy? You want to be more masculine, Jimmy? Because you don't think you're masculine enough? No, bad, right? Bad, right, guys? You don't need to answer if it's right because I know it's right. But what else is happening in the world right now, too? At the same time, there is a subset of rainbow people who, God, I hate having to think about how to censor myself when I talk. Okay, so let me think about this. The subset of rainbow people who are born one way and then they want to transition. There we go. They want to transition the other way. All right. So if little Jimmy really believes that he is little Jamie and he wants to transition, at the age of 6, his parents can take him in to a doctor's office, and little Jimmy can have these little pills, and he can become little Jamie. If you guys don't know, the little pills that Jimmy takes to become little Jamie, it's essentially birth control. Okay, it's basically just birth control. They can take oral birth control, and they can go through a feminization process that's almost as equal as in getting a jab of oil-based estradiol. All right, now that's actually the second way that they go through it. Okay, and nobody cares about this stuff, right? Nobody's freaking out about that. In fact, everyone's egging it on, right? We should allow Jimmy to become Jamie. It's totally okay. In fact, for United States folks in here, we're gonna make you pay for it with your tax dollars. That's how much we care about this cause, right? So if Jimmy wants to become Jamie, it's totally okay. He can take these drugs, since they're calling them drugs. If they're gonna call testosterone a drug, then these transition drugs, they're drugs too. Okay, I mean, that's fair. If we're going to be fair on both ends, we need to be fair and equitable on both ends. Because again, guys, this is a fair and equitable channel, right? But what about little Tommy? What if little Tommy is, let's just say, I don't know, Tommy's 16-year-old, which I don't think, the example I'm about to make, guys, I don't think little Tommy should be able to do this. But I also don't think that 16-year-old or 6-year-old Jimmy should become Jamie either through drugs. Okay, I don't think that, because I believe, because I know, not because I believe, I know that if you're under a certain age, if your brain is not completely developed, and you put these synthetic chemicals in your body, then it will severely affect you negatively, which is why you need to do these things the proper way. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But what about little Tommy? It's like, man, all the other guys in the high school, they pick on me. My muscles are really small. I'm not really good. I can't play on the baseball team because I suck. And I just really, Mom and Dad, I really want you guys to take me to a doctor so I can transition to more of a man. I just want to be more of what I am because I feel lacking in that department. Can Tommy get a prescription for testosterone paid by the U.S. tax dollar for him to do that? No. Right? No. Okay. So you guys starting to see the unequitable factor here, right? One hormone, one primary hormone for one sex is totally okay. It's, in fact, not only is it totally okay, it's great. It's great. Don't worry about the side effects. It's great. And then also at the same time, we'll make the tax dollars pay for it. And then the other sex's primary sexual hormone is not okay at all. In fact, it's illegal. Don't touch it. You need to go through like 5 years of like extreme psychoanalysis before we can allow this person to have that. Why is that, guys? Why is that? Start thinking about that, guys, while I check up on the chat. Cody Mouse says, I mean, opening juice. I want to see two 80s bodybuilders kill each other in the octagon. Dude, that would be like, guys, remember the good old days of wrestling when it used to be not shitty? Randall J says the one was the highest was the rainbow guy. Tom Graff says missing their equipment. Yep. Talking about the eunuchs. Randall J, not sure if that came through. Cody Mouse. All right, Billy, it's your 10th birthday. Time to get your willy chopped off. Yes, indeed. Virines 4 says LMAO. I'm glad you think this is funny because we are trying to be comical around these parts. Tom Graff says hashtag make Wikipedia based again. It'll never be based anymore. Unless guys threw it on the blockchain. That solves some proprietary issues right there, wouldn't it? Max didn't just got up. I already got that comment, Max. But thank you again. Cody Mouse says birth control pills are poison, make women more crazy. We can talk about that. We're going to talk about that as well. We should talk about that, Cody, because they're actually, to be quite honest with you guys, you don't take my word for it. You can go look up the research yourself. For a woman to take birth control for an extended period of time, it's actually a lot more damaging than a man to just take testosterone replacement therapy for an extended period of time. And there's several reasons because of that, but without getting to save time later on, without getting too much into detail, the reason is if they were just taking like minimal amounts of estrogen to replace like a normal amount of estrogen that their body should be producing, that would be okay. But when you take birth control, what it does is it mimics the hormonal environment in a female of when a female is pregnant. All right. And are women supposed to be pregnant for 10 years straight? No, right? You're not supposed to be a pregnant woman for 10 years straight. Okay. So like, obviously, when you're mimicking that exact environment inside your body, you're going to have the negative repercussions of how a 10-year straight continued pregnancy body would have had. All right. And it actually ends up making their chances of becoming fertile in the end worse than men's chances of being on TRT. Now, another thing, and since I talked about that as well, and I told you guys we're going to jump back and forth a lot here because I know a lot of facts about this stuff. So, all right, so we know birth control. So how can we prevent a woman from getting pregnant? So boom, we give her birth control. We give her these pills that mimic the identical hormonal environment of a pregnant woman, which is part one. But the second part is the second reason that this works. Well, the reason that this works. So that's what it's doing. But the reason that these pills work, these pregnancy pills work, is because when you're putting exogenous hormones in your body, you see the human body is very smart and resilient and brilliant. Whatever you believe, guys, that humanity is actually 2021 years old, or that however long it is, or whatever, or that we're 50,000 years old or 5 million years old, and that, or whether or not we're evolved or we were just created this way, regardless of what you think, it is an undeniable fact that the human body is incredibly intelligent. Okay, it's intelligent because it had to be able to withstand massive amounts of things that could go wrong. Our body's probably smarter than a supercomputer, to be quite honest with you. And so what happens when you put exogenous hormones in your body? Do you think your body's just going to allow that to happen? Like, it's just going to be like, all right, we're not going to do anything to offset this? No, our body has a negative feedback loop for almost anything that you can put in it, okay? So if you put exogenous hormones in your body says, hey, last time we checked, our levels for this were not that high. Something's wrong. We don't know exactly what's wrong, but we know how we can stop this. We can just stop the production of ourselves from producing that hormone again, right? So what happens is when these women are taking these estrogen pills, which are a mixture of estrogen and progesterone, which are the two primary hormones, along with HCG. This is also a pregnant woman's hormone, but they don't take that. That's actually used as a fertility drug to induce fertility in both men and women, even though it's a primary female hormone. But anyway, that's what happens. So then the women will stop producing estrogen when they come off these pills, and so then it causes problems, right? Because you imagine, okay, if you're a guy and your primary sex hormone is testosterone, and all of a sudden your body stops making it, and because you're taking drugs that give it into you, and then now you don't have any more external or exogenous drugs going in, and your body's not producing it yourself anymore, then what's going to happen? Then you lose the primary hormone that makes you the essence of what you are, right? So that's how birth control prevents women from getting pregnant. Now, so again, in essence, basically they're just putting in more of their identical hormones so that their body stops producing it. And then if their body's not producing it anymore, then they can't get pregnant, right? But what about guys? So why can't we just have male birth control where men can just take testosterone and okay, so if that works the same way, then this should work theoretically, thinking so, right? What if we just give men testosterone, then all of a sudden their body should just stop producing testosterone, right? And then they won't be able to create sperm and they won't get people pregnant. Wrong. Trust me, guys. I know many friends, very close friends, who were competitive bodybuilders and were on a massive amount of juice. And I'm talking about, like, if anyone here even knows anything about anabolic steroids as a recreational use, like the number one side effect that all anabolic androgenic steroids have in common is the fact that they quote unquote shut you down. All right. They stop your body from producing, or at least they're supposed to stop your body from producing your natural amount of testosterone through a mechanism of luteinizing hormone. And basically, without getting overly complicated, guys, if you put anabolic steroids inside your body and you're a man, your body goes, we have too much. We need stop. Make more. All right. Because it doesn't know that you're putting it inside. It just thinks that you're making too much of it. Okay. So then your brain, your hypothalamus talks to your gonads and it's like, yo, dude, stop doing that. Stop making that stuff. All right. But why doesn't that work for male birth control? Because it just simply doesn't, guys. It simply doesn't. And actually, even on paper, if people have a luteinizing hormone level of like 0 or an FSH, FSH, or an LF, guys, if they have 0 luteinizing hormone levels inside their body, and they get their sperm count measured, most of the time they're still fertile. Okay. Which is crazy to think about, right? And guys, trust me, I know several, and I'm being serious. I know literally, like, probably, like, let me think, in the last 5, I'm just going to talk about the last 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, not a whole lot. I know professional people who've had this, but personally, I know 5 men who were on enough steroids to let's just say get really, really juicy, right? I'm talking about very high level bodybuilding, competitive bodybuilders, all right, to where that necessary amount is required in order to just exist on that stage, okay? And they all got pregnant, like they all got their girls pregnant because what happens? What do guys think? Like, oh, I'm on steroids, so basically I'm on like male birth control, bro. I can just nut inside these girls, right? And then they do it, and the girls get pregnant. So we don't know exactly why that is, okay? And in actuality, guys, the amount of the level of the dropping level of your testosterone is actually not as low, even on paper, when men take exogenous testosterone as compared to when women take birth control. And we don't know why this is, right? We don't know why. It's just how nature works. All right. It's almost like someone who created it's kind of knew what was going to happen at the time. But that is why we can't just give men testosterone as a, well, it's not the 100% reason why, but it's the primary reason why we can't just give men testosterone as birth control. Okay. Also because the real way to shut your body's natural production of testosterone down isn't just to have testosterone overflowing in your body. It's also to have high levels of estrogen. And this is basically essentially what really causes the shutdown. So theoretically speaking, guys, and I'll make sure I cover all bases here. Theoretically speaking, the ideal male birth control would be a shot or a jab, an acupuncture of a combination of both testosterone and estradiol, synthetic both forms, which would completely shut down both your production of natural testosterone and natural estrogen in your body. Because in the men's body, men have estrogen too. However, we don't synthesize it through our ovaries. We synthesize it through a production called aromatase. Aromatization through the aromatase enzyme in your body. And if you are a man, you have aromatase enzyme in your body. And basically, it turns testosterone into estrogen, okay? Which is why if you guys take anabolic steroids and you do them incorrectly, then you have an overabundance of testosterone. Your body says, we got to get rid of this in one way. So let's shut our natural production down, but let's also, we need to balance things out because the body likes balance, right? It likes to have your hormones balanced. So if you don't know what you're doing and you do these incorrectly, then men can grow gynecomastia. They can grow bitch tits, right? Quote unquote bitch tits, right? And you guys have all probably seen what those look like, right? Let me get caught up with the chat again really quick because we're moving fast. Yamikuchi says, I'm trans-vaccinated. I feel like I'm vaccinated, therefore I'm vaccinated. Tell me where my logic is wrong. No, dude, totally. I mean, it makes sense to me, right? It's got to apply to other things. Babe Honker thinks you're funny as well. Cody Mass says, I would be so proud of my son. Tom Graff says, put Tommy in the BLM webinars. Yeah, let's get Tommy. Let's put him in those webinars. He needs to be in there. Nick's Legend says, very helpful for women to take hormones so that their bodies pretend to be pregnant. But men taking hormones, not good, right? And yeah, true. Again, and even just what if okay, it's perfectly okay if a girl is born flat-chested, all right? If a girl is born flat-chested and she wants to get a boob job, that's totally okay in society. In fact, if you've been to Miami, the city where I'm at, it's kind of a rarity for a woman here to not have fake boobs, okay? And that's socially accepted and it's perfectly fine. But what does it require? It requires them to have to go under the knife and needle. It requires them to have to be bedridden for a week. They literally cut underneath their muscle and they place silicone or whatever it is, whatever chemical that the person chooses to have inside there in the boobs so that they can be more feminine, right? They can be more feminine. And hey, I'm all for fake boobs. I love fake boobs, guys. I mean, as long as they're not crazy ridiculous, right? But what about if a guy just simply wants to enhance his look and wants to be more masculine? He just wants to have, he's got 12-inch arms. He wants to have 15-inch arms, right? Or maybe he doesn't give a fuck what size they are. He just wants to look bigger. And he wants to perform better too. So if he wants to take some testosterone recreationally, it's illegal, right? It's bad, right? And he doesn't have to do anything other than just put a hormone inside of his body that's the equivalent identical match to these things that are already in a man's body, right? He doesn't have to go through surgery. He's not putting physical plastic inside of his body and opening his body up to have a bunch of negative repercussions because of that, right? So yes, good point, Nick. Wade Emery says, I don't want to pay taxes and support agendas I hate. That's because you, sir, Wade, are not a fucking retard. You are indeed an intellectual individual, but hey. Randall J says, can I go to Mexico and pick up testosterone? Hashtag not financial advice, of course. Yeah, I mean, theoretically speaking, you could. Now bringing it back would be a whole different issue. Cody Mouse says, yes, Randall. Yeah, he says he lived in Mexico. You live 5 minutes from Mexico? I did not know that, Cody. Oh, Michael T. Michael in the house says, have you read The History of Banking? Actually, somebody actually recommended that book to me not too long ago, but I have not. And I looked at the cover, and I think I believe, I'm not going to be ignorant and say that I already know all this stuff. I don't have to read that. Like I said, I bet a book earlier because estrogeneration I actually don't have to read. I know all this stuff, guys. I could probably write a book about it myself. But I believe I know most of the stuff in that book, and I believe I agree with it. However, I still would like to read it, and it is actually favored in my Audible list. And then he goes on to say testosterone equals the double equals, because remember guys, 1 equals is an assignment, 1 equals an assignment, and 2 equals is an assertion. All right, guys, don't forget that 1 equals is assignment, 2 equals assertion. And yes, testosterone, we are going to be equals man. Yes. Sorry, guys. 1 equal sign is assignment. 2 equal signs is assessment, not assertion. But it could be assertion too. Nick's Legend says, "Why can't keep the Y chromosome down?" No, you can't. Pablo Busco in the house says, "What up, Uncle ELP?" Hello, nephew. How are you? Where are you tonight? Are you lost in the city? Are you okay? I'm concerned for your well-being because I did not hear from you today, and you talk to me every day. So hopefully you're alive and well and not dead. So let me know. Tom Graff says, "Gotta run. Good stream. Hit the like button, boys." Yes, guys. Please like. And if you guys aren't subscribed, you're just watching, subscribe to you guys. Show me some love. Greatly appreciate it. We'll make sure these streams are indeed fruitful for us all. Yamichi says, "Sorry, Gene Strong, SRY, Gene Strong as fuck." Great Mouse says, "Good fake tits are top tier." Yes, indeed. Max Denisa says, "Josh, quote, maybe he's got 12-inch arms." Max Denisa, me. Max, you might need some juice, bro. JavaScript has entered the chat. Yes, indeed it did. All right, guys. So where were we again? Yeah. So, and what is wrong? Okay. You guys know, this is the Project Freedom podcast, right? I value freedom above everything else, right? And I've explained that. I hopefully don't have to re-explain myself that I don't value the freedom to go out in the street and just like, blow. All right. Just want to make sure you guys know that, all right? But I value freedom above anything else, as far as if it comes to how people should be living their life in modern times, right? So I am totally okay if the rainbow people want to transition. That is totally okay. In fact, like, good on them. If you want to do that, like, good for you. Like, you're strong. I'm not joking. You're strong, brave, and independent to want to go through a crazy process like that, right? But if we are going to be equal, and as far as freedom is concerned, then why should we tell men that if they want to take a substance that is identical to a substance that their body already produces in order to become more masculine, because it's just simply what they want to do out of freedom, they want to exercise their freedom to do so? Why is that not the case? Why is that wrong? Well, why is there extreme social negative stigma regarding against this, right? Why is it illegal to do that when it's not, like, guys? Okay, so imagine this. Have you guys ever heard of an estrogen dealer getting busted selling massive amounts of estrogen to people who want to transition? Have I heard that on the news ever? I haven't. But I have heard on the news, bodybuilding drug dealer gets busted with massive amounts of anabolic androgenic steroids, right? Well, because those people don't get in trouble. Because, I mean, apparently the law is just like, it just ignores that side, that whole other side that we don't even talk about, right? But the masculine side it's illegal, right? And it's extremely looked down upon, right? But because of that, why is that not okay? Why is that not okay? Well, because of the soy pill, guys. Again, for my new people in here who are just joining the stream, some of you guys probably some Crimson Capsule people. Some of my peeps in here for sure orange pilled, if you guys know what I mean. I know some of you guys are orange pilled, but the soy pill is a whole other thing that none of us are even talking about right now. Like Antonio said earlier, why do you think that testosterone and masculinity is frowned upon? I'd have to put my tinfoil hat on. I have my beliefs, guys, and I won't talk about them. But I'll if I were to talk about that, I'd have to put my tinfoil hat on records that we know that I'm just simply talking about conspiracy theories. But think about that, guys. Make your own conclusion to that. Why do you guys think that is? Okay. Now, another thing about the soy pill, and because that is what I want to call it, is let us look at some more articles here, okay? Let's look at some more articles that I have pulled up already. These are the ones that I actually did already look into before the stream, but I just want to make sure that you guys know, and I have 3 of them here, all right? So let's look at one famous Famous company known as FORBS, Forbes, right? So guys, Forbes, right? We can trust everything they say. They say orange man bad, right? So Forbes must be right. Forbes also says that orange coin bad, right? Orange coin bad, orange coin bad. So maybe Forbes, I mean, maybe they're right about everything, right? Maybe we should take what they say seriously. So here's one article that they say where it says, back from 2017, "You're not the man your father was," by Neil Howe. And he is no longer a contributor at Forbes. Maybe I wonder why. Maybe because Forbes didn't like the Soypill. And he says, according to a recent report from JAMA, testosterone therapy among American men is on the rise. Wonder why? From 2010 to 2013, prescriptions more than doubled, with researchers partially attributing to ubiquitous drug marketing campaigns urging older men to boost quote-unquote low T levels. I mean, that part's true, but that's because there's money. Guys, there's a problem out there, and people have a solution for that problem, and they're monetizing it. So obviously, they're going to advertise it as low T. And guys, we're not going to. It's how much easier is it to say low T than low testosterone, right? If your T is on E, then call me. The swell of interest reflects a genuine physiological shift across the population. Men today have less testosterone compared to men of the same age a generation ago. All right. Asking why requires untangling a complex web of social, environmental, and behavioral factors that are dismantling age-old ideas about masculinity and triggering real anxiety over changing gender roles. I'm triggered. Oh, God. Guys, I had to throw up. I'm so triggered from reading that. Studies show that men's testosterone levels have been declining for decades. The most prominent at 2007, and guys, this is a study back at 2007, so just imagine how it is now. I mean, guys, I know how much I believe the world has changed just from 2015 until now. So, geez, imagine that. 2007 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism revealed a substantial drop in U.S. men's testosterone levels since 1980s, with average levels declining about 1% per year. Okay, that's normal for as you age. As a man, your levels will drop about 1% per year. But they're talking about average levels of all age groups. So in general, the average level has been dropping 1% per year. What I'd probably argue, guys, I've seen some people's blood works. I would argue that it has to have been more than 1% per year in most recent times. For example, that a 16-year-old man in 2004 had testosterone levels 17% lower than those of a 60-year-old in 19. Okay, that would make more sense, and that's about more accurate. All right. Another study of Danish men produced similar findings with double-digit declines among men born in 1960s compared to those born in 1920s. Holy shit. Mio Dios, amiga. Mio Dios. All right, guys. The challenges to men's health didn't end there. Rates of certain reproductive disorders like testicular cancer, which, by the way, guys, that's why you need to take the Soypill. We're going to get into this tonight. But believe it or not, friends, it actually is severely, and I mean severely more unhealthy to have low testosterone than it is to have really high testosterone. I mean, it is literally less healthy, and I'll put it to you like this, you are at way higher risk to literally die if you have zero testosterone than if you had super physiological bodybuilding dose of testosterone in your body. Literally. Now, the latter part is most certainly not healthy either, especially for extended periods of time. However, it is still less harmful than having no testosterone, all right? Has risen over time, with multiple European studies have found that sperm counts are also shrinking. I wonder why that is. These trends coincide with a decline in musculoskeletal strength among young men in 2016. I mean, guys, if you looked at my thumbnail, I mean, we already know what the average dude nowadays looks at, right? You guys go out in the street and you guys see these people, like most dudes are just like, they're walking around like this. Oh, excuse me. Would you, madame, would you mind if I could breathe your air? Ma'am, would you mind if I could just simply please speak to the janitor of your second grade restroom through a walkie-talkie. I would do anything to just simply have, ma'am, please. And this, you guys are seeing, with like guys are like starting to look and act effeminate, right? It's not. I mean, maybe in 2021 it's normal, but that's not how men are supposed to be, right? At least in the, like this article said, conventional sense of masculinity. So, and I would like to fancy myself as a conventional masculine enthusiast, right? I'm not saying that I am conventionally masculine. You guys can make your own judgment about what you guys think about me. Quite frankly, I don't care, but just kidding. You guys in the chat, I care about you guys. The guys here in the live chat, please, guys, I care about what you guys think about me, of course, but I don't care what the normies think. That's for sure. Well, let's look at another article, guys, over here. Okay. And this one is from Reuters, and you guys also know Reuters, not like again, my opinion. You guys know my opinion about the news and the media. All right. So, but if we're gonna say that, if people are gonna say that Orange Man bad, Orange Coin bad, that news is 100% accurate and factual, then we should just take all their news accurate and fashionable, right? You can't just pick and choose, right? This article says men's testosterone levels decline in the last 20 years. New York, Reuters Health, a new study has found a substantial drop in U.S. men's testosterone levels since the 1980s. All right, basically they're touching about the exact same thing as the previous article, right? But the reason for the decline remains unclear. I wonder why. Maybe it's because of the soy pill. And we haven't actually talked about the real soy pill yet, guys, right? Start thinking about that. This trend also does not appear to be related to age. That part right there is important. The average levels of the male hormone dropped by 1% a year. Dr. Thomas Trevisan and colleagues from New England Research Institutes in Watertown, Massachusetts found this means that, for example, a 65-year-old man in 2002 would have testosterone levels 15% lower than those of a 65-year-old in 1987. All right, and there's a quote: "The entire population is shifting somewhat downwards, we think," Trevisan told Reuters Health. We're counting on other studies to confirm this. All right, now they already have done a plethora of these studies, right, guys. But what are we seeing? What is the thing we're seeing here, right? We're seeing like a less masculinized society, right? I wonder why. All right, let me get caught up with the chat again. Excuse me, guys, for letting you guys run on too far. Yamagichi says maybe you should call it Project Sovereignty instead. I thought about that, but I wanted to keep it a little bit more like elementary for the people out there who might not know what big words means. Cody Mouse says too hard to spell. Very true. Eat clean, trend hard. No. What's up, my friend? I saw you in MLD's chat this morning. I hope you are eating clean. I hope you're eating clean and training hard. And I hope you're Anavar giving up and demolishing your goals. Yamagachi says, not going to lie, took me a while to learn how to spell. Yeah, I mean, guys, I am, for all intents and purpose, a beautiful and intellectual computer scientist, right? So I'm theoretically, I should have high IQ, right? Especially, I was actually forced to have like a extremely extensive IQ test when I was like 12 years old. My family and my school forced me to do it because they thought that I was so bad and misbehaved that something must be wrong with me. And this was a very extensive IQ test, my friends. Not trying to blow smoke up my ass, but it wasn't the old IQ test that you just go on the online and pay on the internet. My family had to pay lots of money for this. And when I was 12-year-old, they told me my IQ was pretty high. I don't believe it is that high, or if it was that high, it's most certainly not that high anymore after college. But that being said, I can't spell worth of jack shit. So go figure that. All right. Cody Mouse says, "Yo, good side gig opportunity." I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Moving to Cali and being an estro dealer. Oh, okay. That sounds like a great idea, actually, Cody. Let me know if I can get in on that with you. Eklund Trinsar says, "I am natty, Josh. I don't do steroids." Well, that's totally fine, my friend. We do not care if you do or do not do them. Yamaguchi says, "Please tell us your beliefs about the soy pill." Okay. All right, I will, guys. Well, let me finish the chat, and I'll tell you guys my beliefs in the soy pill. Eklund Chinhard says, "Only chicken, broccoli, and rice." Yes, those are the best steroids to take. Cody Mouse says, "Anyone else read the title and think, thank God? No, just me." Pablo Busco says, "I think society thinks TRT is wrong because they only see natural alphabets natural alphas as a plausibility of what a man should be. Anybody who reads into RP or takes TRT is considered a fake or, quote, you're not that guy. Yeah, good point, Pablo. Good point. But again, good point, Pablo, and I totally resonate with you on that. We both know that that's not 100% the case for everybody, right? But again, if we're gonna say that, if they are gonna use that argument against us, then the same thing applies. What is wrong with having the freedom, with exercising your freedom to want to do something that makes you more masculine if you just want to be more masculine? When the exact opposite is not only not wrong, but it's free, it's not illegal, and it's glorified. It's literally glorified, right? Doesn't make sense, right? Everyone wants the same exact people, the soy pillars, the same exact people are the first people the ones that want to tout around and talk about all the time, like, oh, I want to be equal. Everything needs to be equal. But do they actually want it equal? No, they don't want it equal. They want the latter side, the other side, to be oppressed. Because I guess, I don't know why. Maybe for some reason they believe that the other side is the oppressors. When in actuality, people on the other side probably most likely don't even give a fuck or even think about these people, right? Clint Trinsard says, I'm taking TRT in my late 30s and 40s. Okay. Solid, my friend. Cody Mouse says, you're not wrong, Pablo. So Pablo, he agrees with you. Other people agree with you too. Virens 4, VIRENSS4. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, my friend. Let me know in the chat for in the future so I can pronounce it correctly. He says, quote, these estrogen pills will fill you with even more pride. Oh, my Lord. Pablo Busco also thought that was funny. So did everyone else. Clint Trinsart says, I am hung like a bull, no amount of testos. Pablo Busco says, quote, let me read this in the correct voice. Hold on, guys. Let me take a sip. I'm all out of Perrier, so I need to sip my Monster. All right, guys, give me a second. All right, let's see if we can say that right now. Forgive me, madame, for you are out of my league. Forgive me, madame, for you are out of my league. Cody Mouse says, I went to Vegas recently and realized I'm in pretty good shape comparatively to most. Yeah, dude. Look, bro. Every time I say this, people get upset because they're like, you're retarded. But I don't consider myself to be in good shape. And that is obviously because I have a mental issue with the way that I believe my body looks. I'm a competitive bodybuilder, and I'm totally okay to admit that. You have to be somewhat psychologically like fucking crazy to be I'm not a competitive bodybuilder anymore because, quite frankly, it's just a waste of my time. But when I was, you have to go to a crazy spot in the head to be able to push that hard to get to where that is. And the thumbnail picture, I was extremely lean. That picture was from 2019. It was extremely lean. I had to literally physically suffer for over a year to prepare to look just like that for a couple of weeks for one show. So, to me, that is in good shape. But the way that I am right now, I wouldn't say that I'm in like the best shape. However, I'm even in Miami, guys, I am vastly in better shape than a majority of people here. Not all of them, but even in a very good city with quote unquote good looking people, right? So Cody, I wouldn't be surprised, man. Again, because of the soy pill, the average dude these days is very soy laden, right? Yamaguchi thinks that that's funny. He says, you are very conventionally masculine, Josh. Thank you. I try to be. Josh, but you can't grow facial hair. I do, actually. I shaved this morning. Let me see if I can find a picture of my beard was not looking. I don't grow the best facial hair, guys, but there's some there. Let me see. Here's a good old picture right here. Literally took this picture this morning in the hot tub. Look at that hot guy right there. Is that gonna focus? There we go. The facial hair right there. Got a little bit of facial hair. Look, I just think facial hair looks gross on me. And then also at the same time, I am a very, very greasy Italian. And so when I don't shave, I will break out in a plethora of acne. And I'm just not really into the whole facial hair look. Although, so I pretty much have like almost a full beard, except here. It's like there's missing here and then here. So there's like a cutoff spot, right? I heard you can get Rogaine and put Rogaine on there, but I just don't care to do that. Randall says, should grow a beard to show how masculine you are. Yeah, again, I don't think I have a voluptuous enough beard to do that. God, I think the longest I went, okay, so when I was in college, I went like I think 3 weeks without shaving. And it just looked so gross and it felt so gross. I was like, fuck it. And my friends were like, no, dude, you got to get through like the first 3 weeks, the first 3 to 6 weeks, like the awkward phase, got to get through it. And I'm like, I just can't do it. And then I tried again. I tried again last December, and I think I actually got 4.5 weeks. And I was just like, I cannot do this. Also, guys, my bearded friends out there, I always ask everybody, because every time I try to grow it, the shit gets so fucking itchy. Like, what do you do? Like, do you guys just accept it and live with that? Like, because that's miserable, bro. How does one not get how does one not have itchy facial hair and break out in acne? Cody Mouse says, shots fired. Fuck, guys. You guys caught me. My facial hair sucks. I gotta end the stream right now. God, I gotta leave. Just kidding. Antonio says they want men with lower testosterone because men with low T are less aggressive and are more likely to submit. It's the second time I got to do this for you, Antonio. This is an invisible hammer, and you just fucking hit the nail on the head. Randall J says, all men should be bearded as nature intended. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, if it looks good on you, rock the beard, my friends. Rock the beard. I think some beards look fucking gnarly. Men with higher T levels will rebel and fight against oppressors. Yes, indeed. Cody Mouse has agreed, Randall. Vanessa 4 says, it's me, Vincent. Oh, okay. Vishant. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I know who you are. I still don't know how to pronounce it, so I just don't want to say it wrong. DM me on Telegram. Let me know how to pronounce it correctly. Nick's Legend says, Josh doesn't feel big when his pecs are bigger than my arms. I mean, I'm really not that big, guys, compared to what I used to be. So let me see. I took this picture. June 11th. Let's see, June 11th. I'm really not super lean either. Took this picture June 11th. I mean, I'm definitely bigger than your average normie, right? But like, I'm not like super big. I actually go to a gym here that's like a competitive. There's a plethora of beautiful women at this gym, and also a plethora of professional IFBB pros at this gym. So like, I'm definitely not the biggest dude at that gym for sure, but I've been a lot bigger than this. I do actually feel big, Nick. I just don't feel like I am, quote unquote, in better shape than most people because I'm just not super peeled, super lean. Because to me, being in shape is completely different. My being in shape, normal people's being in shape just means like not being obese and not having like an excess of love handles. My being in shape is being conditioned to the point where you're ready to get on a bodybuilding stage. So like, I don't feel like I am in shape because I know what I'm capable of. However, that being said, if anyone just simply goes to the gym and even, let's just say you don't even have a diet, you're probably in better shape than the majority of the population, right? Who else? Pablo says, Uncle ELP is burly and manly, needs to just be trimmer, and boom, bye-bye all the Brazilians to Miami. We don't need any more of those Brazilians. Yeah, and again, I'm not super lean. I am carrying some fat. I just showed you all that picture. I mean, you guys see my Instagram. My most recent picture that I posted June 10th. I mean, this was me on June 10th. I was probably a little bit leaner like a couple weeks ago, but because I burn fat so easily that like if I just like diet for 1 week, I could probably drop a legitimate 5 pounds of solid fat. No, I'm not even joking, guys. Because I carry so much muscle mass, my body requires more sustenance. But yeah, I'm definitely not in like I'm not super peeled, right? And I don't want to live like that anymore because when I did that, I was basically locked in a fucking cage. And now I like to go out and enjoy food occasionally. I like to enjoy alcoholic beverages. I like to eat a bag of chips every now and then because I just like doing it, right? Yamaguchi says, hot dude army detected. Very Hollywood. Max says, thank you. Goatee for the win. Nah, dude, I feel like goatees are just like strange looking, bro. At least on me. I think I would look like I did like the app simulation of what like facial hairstyle fits you best. And when I look like a goatee, I look like fucking who's that dude from NASCAR that drives the Home Depot car? God, God, what is his name? The dude who's like gets drunk and like literally gets DUIs and kills people. Kyle Busch? No, it's not Kyle Busch. You guys know who it is. You guys know, if you know who it is, let me know. I feel like I look like that dude. He's pretty. I don't know anything about NASCAR, but he's a pretty base NASCAR driver. Nick's Legend says beard awkward phase is more like 3 to 6 months from what I've heard. Yikes, dude. That's so much time to have to be awkward and itchy. Oil, man. So you just put straight up oil on your beard? Can you put coconut oil in it? Max Anita says take the horse tranquilizer pill. No itch. Max, I'm gonna have to ban you because you're making me fucking laugh too much. Cody Mouse says oil, wash, and cream if really bad. So like, okay, so when I was washing it, guys, I was actually washing. I would just wash my face normally with like the same facial the same thing I would use for just face wash. Maybe that's not. Maybe I probably shouldn't have done that because I think in return what it ended up doing was drying me out even more, and then my sebum glands would overproduce more sebum, and that's why I feel like I was even greasier with facial hair. Randall says, let it grow for 3 months, Jesus Christ, and no shaving to give it a chance. But you trim it though, right? Like you can't just like let it grow for 3 months without shaving it, like without trimming it, right? You have to actually trim it, right? Isn't that what you guys do? I'm sure you guys like keep it trimmed because some of you guys, your fucking facial hair looks so fucking beautiful. Like you guys like go into a shop and get them take care of it, I'm sure, or something, right? Wade Emery says, I still shave. I stay shaved head and face. Yeah, I try to shave my face every day, literally every day, sometimes twice a day. But if I go like one day, I can start to feel the acne coming. Yamagachi says, I never felt any itchiness. I'm an Arab. Just using a Japanese name for a random Google account. Okay. Randall J, you need beard oil. Okay, so there's special beard oil. Got to put beard oil, get your skin into the beard, and just like you get dandruff on your scalp. Okay, that makes sense. Because, again, your skin underneath your beard is still skin. Randall J says, you got to, oh, wait, I read that one. Excuse me. Eklin Trinhard says, how trashy are Miami hoes? Are they just like the ones in F and F? So, all right. There is I would say that the girls that Myron and Walt get on their show are not an accurate 100% representation of the average one in Miami. I would say that most of those girls are on their show are usually younger than the ones who are here and are like less not as good looking as at least the ones that I see. I'm not saying this to put them down or anything. Because I mean, both Fresh and Myron are both very, very well-to-do men, and they do indeed get some very good-looking girls. They're just not fucking with the same girls that they have on their show. All right, I'll put it to you like that. So, the girls they have on their show are not an accurate representation. There are indeed some trashy ones, though. But dude, honestly, bro, average Miami girl is most likely not American. She's foreign. She's either from like Eastern Europe or she is from Central or South America. And all those women are pretty fucking beautiful, I have to say. As far as trashy, guys, the ones who are foreign are not trashy. They're way less trashy than the American women. However, that being said, the American women that are in Miami are, the majority of them, pretty fucking trash. So, yep. Randall J, yes, I put more care in my beard than actual hair. That sounds like something you have to do. Babe Hunker says, Josh has a great, clean look, guys. Thank you very much, Babe Hunker. I try. I need to get a haircut soon, too. I need to get my eyebrows. Should I get my eyebrows waxed, guys? Haven't done that in like 8 years. Nick's Legend says, mustaches are in. I'm tempted. My dad rocks the stash. My dad used to rock the stash, too. Tony Stewart. That's right, Tony. I think it's Tony Stewart. Yeah, that's him. That's the guy. Cody Mouse says, nah. Oh, wait, no. Blah, 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 blah. Cody Mouse says, Josh is taking the beard pill. Guys, fuck. Should I take the beard pill now? Nick Schlett says, average girls on the streets in Brickell are hotter than the girls on Fresh and Fit. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, average girls in any street, anywhere here, even if you go to like Little Cuba or Little Havana or whatever, the girls on their show are, and again, I want to preface this by saying, it has nothing to do with them. I can guarantee you that both Walt and Myron and Aaron all fuck with girls who are way better looking than the girls that actually have on their show. All right. And I guarantee you, because I've seen it. Okay. Now, the girls on their show are not an accurate representation of the average girl in Miami. The average girl in Miami is like way better looking than that. In fact, the average girl here is good looking. The average girl, it's an oddity when you see a girl who's not in shape here. Like, just at least if you're not in good shape here as a woman, you're like, whoa, something's wrong with the girl. Like, I'm talking about even if she's like slightly fat. If she is, and let's just say you're in South Beach, that's a tourist, so she's not from here. Randall J says, I don't shave to trim my beard for 6 months. Then trimmed it by a barber. When I hit 125 pounds loss, I was as short as I've been in the past. Okay. Sounds like it takes some time. All right, guys. So back on the topic at hand. Let's look at another article. And then, so I just wanted to present as much of these articles from quote unquote mainstream outlets as it possible could. Okay. So you guys could just, we're not just making this stuff up. Right. So finally, we went through Forbes and Reuters. Now we have one from Urology Times. All right. So this is they're urologists. Right. They study urine. Just kidding. They study hormones. Okay, guys. And again, this is a medical study. The decline in testosterone was observed even among men with normal body mass index. From 1999 to 2016, testosterone levels declined in adolescents and young men, according to results preceded in 2020 American Urology Association virtual experience. Overall, male testosterone decline can be attributed to multiple etiologies. The United States has an aging population with older men exhibiting lower testosterone levels. Furthermore, overall population has an increase in comorbidities, including diabetes, which may cause this testosterone decrease normally. So-and-so medical doctor, incoming urology resident at Yale School of Medicine, New Haven, Connecticut, said during a press briefing. And then let's just see. However, most of these explanations of testosterone deficiency may be attributed to age. All right, now this part I disagree with 100%. This time-dependent decline in testosterone has not been an investigation in adolescents and young adult males. Well, that's because they're not studying their levels. Added this person's name that I don't know to pronounce, who was at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine, Miami, Florida, at the time of the study. All right, I need to go find this person and track him down. And again, they talk about the amount. So let's look at the level. So the mean total testosterone decreased from 1999 to 2000, so just 1 year. No way. 506 nanograms per deciliter. Okay. So from this time range, 605.36 nanograms per deciliter was the average level. And then at 2003 to 2004, we're down about 50 points. And then again, from 2004 to 2011, we're down about another 120 points. And then again from there, it looks like they went up a little bit, and then they're down again. All right, so guys, what is I don't want to let Urology Time install this on my computer. No, Urology Times can't do that. So why is the cause of this, guys? Well, I think we kind of all know the cause of this, right? The demasculinization of society, right? Men bad, orange man bad, orange coin bad, orange injectable oil bad, orange everything bad, all right? Everything orange is bad, all right, guys? So there's a huge social stigma that's negative towards traditional masculinity, all right? And since traditional masculinity is based in the primary masculine sex hormone, which is the reason what gives these secondary sexual characteristics and traits, since this is bad, we've kind of shunned it away. And now it's just like, so basically, socially, it's bad, right? And whenever time a population gets together and they decide that they dislike something socially, then that thing becomes less present in the world, right? Now, also, what else? Well, my friends, basically, if you weren't aware, and I'm sure some of you guys are, because I already see people in the chat talking about it. If you are a man in 2021, your external environment is basically just like an anti-masculine hormone war zone, right? Pretty much anything and everything that you have. So my face is on this mic right now. I'm touching this mic. I'm literally getting BPA into my skin by just touching this thing, right? And everything that is plastic or is synthesized that contains BPA, if you just touch it, You just touch that stuff for long enough, it gets absorbed in your skin, right? These are just little molecules, all right? And what does that do? Well, they say, oh, BPA lowers test, bro. No, it doesn't lower testosterone. What it actually does, or it gives you high estrogen. What it actually does is it acts as a pseudoestrogen. So it can, much like when you take testosterone, it attaches itself to the anabolic and androgenic receptors and activates those receptors to do the job at hand. These things that act like estrogens, they don't actually increase your levels of estrogen. So you can go in on paper, guys, and you can get your estrogen levels and they could be perfectly fine. And you still would have the effects of someone with high estrogen, because these pseudoestrogens and phytoestrogens, which is the soy pill, they attach to their estrogen receptor and they mimic the same things that estrogen does. All right. So that's why. And that's just BPA. That's just one chemical. Literally, guys, almost everything now can arguably contain some sort of pseudo or phytoestrogen, which in result means that if you're just a daily guy, and I'm really not kidding about that, guys, literally just go read that book, Estrogeneration, or go and do some Googling. All right. If you don't believe me, you can look this stuff up. There is way too many chemicals to list that all of you guys, and me included, interact with on a daily basis that are basically pseudoestrogens. They can attach to the estrogen receptor and activate it. All right. So that's another reason. All right. Basically, we're in a negative masculine chemical environmental warfare, because of everything. Clean drinking water, because of the revolution to the 21st century with fluorinated drinking water and all these other things, more chemicals that are just going in your body that do these same things. Okay. They do the same things, guys. If you don't know, if you don't believe me, look it up. I'm not just like making this stuff up. And then also, I truly believe that the last few generations of men and mankind, men and women in general, are just overly entitled and weaker than how they should be. Guys, we live in a post-scarcity society. There is McDonald's on every single corner, right? Even though in the year 2028, one Big Mac will equal $1 million, written by the Gospels of John McAfee. God fucking rest his soul, man. I love that guy so much. Even though McDonald's is starting to become more expensive, it's still readily available all over the place, right? And if not, there's you can get food fucking anywhere, right, guys? You can get too much food. You can buy. Has anyone ever had a problem? I never had this problem because I'm super anal with my groceries and the food that I eat. If I don't eat out, the food that I actually do bring home. Have you guys ever bought too many groceries and not eaten all of them and had to throw some of them away because they go bad? Could you imagine back in the 1920s, 1930s, in the Great Depression era, telling somebody you bought too much groceries and that you had to let them go bad because you were going out to eat too much? Jesus Christ. So we live in a post-scarcity society, and that's just overall, it's just led us to become more complacent and more soft, right? Now, I believe that it's going the opposite way because we're about to get into some tough times soon, but that might be the resolution to this. And also, finally, guys, my true beliefs, my beliefs, other than the three or four things I mentioned already, is just the soy pill encapsulates those things perfectly. But I also believe that it encapsulates this final thing. The thing that Antonio said in the chat, they don't want men to be testosteronized. Why? Because you're more docile, you're more complacent, you're more easy to deal with, right? Go read some ancient Chinese proverbs of how you can weaken the men of your enemies. They attack the men. They emasculate the men. Go seek the ancient Chinese wisdom of estrogeneration. So back to the chat, guys. Let's see. Yogichi says, do you need to know JavaScript and other languages before you get into blockchain coding? Okay, so if you are ever going to, I don't know if you're talking about it professionally or not, if you're going to get paid for it, but if you just want to write Solidity for the Ethereum network, you can just learn Solidity. Solidity is basically looks like JavaScript, but acts like C++. But Yamaguchi, any programming language, dude, they're pretty much once you learn one, in reality, you can learn another one instantly. All right. All programming languages are fundamentally the same throughout. That's because computers all run on technically the same the same type of hardware framework, right? There's a CPU or a central processing unit, right? There's some sort of random access memory, all right? So temporary memory that the computer runs off of. There's some sort of permanent memory, right? Now the programming for the EVM or the Ethereum virtual machine is a pseudo computer. It's a network of computers, all right? So it has a few different memory allocations. So that's the only thing that makes that language different, all right? But the fundamentals of those memory allocations work the same. Point being is because all computers work the same, every single language is pretty much fundamentally the same throughout. You guys, people who are in here are developers, know what I'm talking about. Maybe one language has a different name and maybe it's typed slightly different, right? Or maybe one language has a cool library in X and the other one has a cool library in Y. And maybe one language is better to do X with and the other language is better to do Y with. But Yamaguchi, I wouldn't focus so much on specific languages to like, oh, which is the best language to learn. You got to learn. You need to learn all of them if you want to learn to code. And if you learn one, you're basically already like 90% done with learning every single language out there. All right. So no, you don't need to know JavaScript before you get into blockchain coding. But my developer directions blockchain fundamentals course that's coming. Well, we're finishing enrollment on the 25th, but we're starting that one up next. And in that one, we pretty much I spend 2 weeks teaching people in there. We spend 2 weeks teaching people in there learning JavaScript to kind of like prepare them for Solidity. So I would suggest that you do the same. I would suggest you maybe take a second to like look at JavaScript and how it works because it would help you. Is it required though? No. Babe Honker says, we are so doomed. Yes, we are. It's the chemicals in the water. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can pull it up. I bet he's not even on. I bet this is not even on YouTube anymore. Let me see. God. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't want to say it. Because I'm afraid I'm gonna get booted in the algorithm. You guys know that man, the real man with the tinfoil hat, the man who lost 10,000 Bitcoin given to him by Max Kaiser. Let me see. ALEXJONESGAYFROGS. Let's see. Let's check this out. Let's see if we can. Oh yes, they have. Okay, so they have a parody online. But guys, the sad part about this is that this is actually real. Okay. That it's a meme, but it actually something that really happened. All right. So let's see if I can play this. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can hear it or if it will.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay.
He agrees. We need to take that off. The algorithm's gonna come kill me, guys. Uh-oh, we did it. We said words we shouldn't have said, guys. Oh no. Yes, it is chemicals in the water, turning those frogs into opposite frogs, happy frogs, rainbow frogs. Randall J says, when I got mine tested earlier this year, I was in the mid 300s. Oh, yikes, dude. Taking various supplements and losing fat to try to raise it. Got to get tested again in a couple months. Another good point there too, dude. Okay. So you guys don't know. And this isn't so much as far as testosterone itself, that hormone, but estrogen. So another reason why, these articles, by the way, they haven't told you guys. They did say that as testosterone levels have been shrinking over time, right? But they didn't tell you guys that estrogen levels have been raising as well, right? Even though on paper, like I said before, you could be interacting with these pseudo estrogen chemicals and having the side effects of it, but on paper, your estrogen could look fine. This is not even including that. Like I'm talking about, there's actually men who have higher estrogen levels than they did before, which doesn't make sense because usually if you have a higher estrogen level, it's because your testosterone level is also higher. So your body's equilibrium is trying to stay even, but that's not the case. All right. And what he says, Randall says, trying to lose fat. Okay. Yeah. So another reason for this, Randall, and I forgot to mention this too, but again, didn't mean to get off track there. Sorry, guys. If you are a man, I told you guys earlier, the process where the body produces estrogen in men is through an aromatase. The aromatization process, there is an enzyme called the aromatase enzyme in men, and this is what it literally takes the testosterone molecule, it goes and turns into estrogen, right? It's because of an enzyme in your body. An enzyme, what enzymes do? They break things down. So this enzyme, the The aromatase enzyme breaks down testosterone, turns it into estrogen. And where is the aromatase enzyme found in abundance? In stored body fat in men, specifically in the stomach area, but it's in all stored body fat. So yes, men need, this is why it's not normal or natural to be 2 or 3% body fat, because you literally need, and that's not the only hormone that is needed in fat in men, but men need estrogen too. Trust me, guys, if you have like zero E, you will know, you'll probably have more side effects of 0 E than if you had like a lot of E, although you would also have side effects. But I would venture to say that if you're a man and having 0 estrogen is more painful. Trust me, I would know. I have at one point literally nuked my estrogen to the level where it was untraceable on zero. It was untraceable on paper. Couldn't detect it in my blood. And boy, oh boy, was I a miserable boy at that time. You would think that, and my T was very good at this time. It was like, I was like probably 1250. You would think that would be, okay, you got high T, low E. You think you'd be having really strong one of these in the morning, right? Nope. If you have low E, you're not going to, that guy's not going to work too good. And also your brain's not going to work good either. And it causes other problems. But, God, we went off track again. Yeah. Another reason why I believe that men are becoming more effeminate is because we're all living in this post-scarcity society and we're all carrying around extra stored body fat. Okay. Therein says we are constantly being exposed to microplastics. Yep. And he's right. It's not just BPA, guys. BPA is just one of the most common ones. Leaching estrogen into our bodies. Yeah, and again, it's not literally putting estrogen in your bodies, but these chemicals act as pseudoestrogen. So they, just like estrogen can, it can attach that receptor. It can be like, yo, receptor, do your job, do your thing. Also, the blue screen. I was not aware of that, Antonio. Does blue screen affect your hormones? I would not be surprised. It affects all. Actually, it does affect your hormones, right? We know that it affects melatonin reproduction, right? So then that is a hormone. Melatonin is a hormone. So melatonin is a drug, guys. It's a hormone. It's a drug, right? Matt W says, good evening, chaps. What is up? Matt W in the house. Babe Hunger says, Randall, you will love this stuff. Helps me. Oh, sorry, guys. I think you guys are just talking. Nick's Legend says, the base level of soy/estrogenics in the environment is such that you must avoid all quote unquote soy. And that is only enough to be affected less. Yeah, I mean, because soy is also in literally everything that we have, right? And again, soy isn't a pseudoestrogen. Soy is a phytoestrogen. It's like and this is only theorized so far now, but basically like if plants have hormones, then soy, something inside unfermented soy acts as the estrogen for plants. Kind of like there's a regenerative like HGH that plants have, and we can actually like resveratrol. That's theorized to be a hormone for plants. They classify these things as hormone for plants, but they don't actually know if there's these plants are producing these things for any reason. Because as far as I might be incorrect here, but as far as my understanding is, plants are just producing these phyto hormones, and they don't really use them. I could be wrong though. Matt W says, get a ProPure. PROPUR gravity water filter. It gets rid of fluoride and all the bad stuff in tap water. You never have to buy the case of water ever again. I've had a zero filter. I need to get another one though. Vinera says, do those higher and metal water filter tanks filter out estrogens? Which ones? Like the ones at like Whole Foods? I'm not quite sure, man. I know that anything that uses charcoal filtration, that will pretty much filter out your water almost completely to where there's nothing inside of it. And it'll also take out minerals that are good for you to have in your water. But if you just want to be 100% certain, and you can get a charcoal water filter, and you can just add salt and other chemicals as well. I mean, guys, technically, so I don't like to drink bottled water, but if I do, I drink like this. Okay, first of all, glass bottle. Second of all, it's sparkling water, so it's like it literally has nutrients in it, and it's delicious. And also, technically, these are captured at the source in France. So this is Perrier, not Pellegrino. I actually prefer Pellegrino because I'm Italian, and I get to stay strong to the Italian population. But they get it from like the mountain water, so they say. And do they actually do? I don't know. But if I ever have to grab water on the go, I always get like sparkling water, because not only do I literally am addicted to sparkling water, literally, but it is more healthy for you, and it has minerals in it, right? Matt W says, I believe so. All spring water tastes weird compared to the Pure water. I can't even drink spring water anymore. Yeah, I would venture to say most of that spring water, it probably isn't even from spring. Christian Soto, the frogs. Nick Sledge, the rainbow frogs. Matt W says, stay away from Aquafina or Nestle purified water. In fact, stay away from all Pepsi and Nestle products. They don't deny use of stem cells in their products. Frankenfood, gross. That one is funny. Is bottled water bad for your T levels? Okay, well, again, so actually, guys, plastic bottles aren't necessarily bad unless you're touching them, right? There's nothing inherently wrong with containing water in plastic. That plastic is not like skin. It won't just like, it doesn't have pores and it's not going to absorb. Or water is not like our skin. It doesn't have pores. It's not just going to absorb what it touches. But the problem with keeping water in plastic bottles, if they do contain BPA, and even if they don't contain BPA, there's a plethora of other these plastic chemicals, is that if it gets above a certain temperature, then that plastic melts into the water. Even if you don't see it or realize it, slight amounts of it. So that's the problem. So I mean, you have to know, like, where did I get this bottle from? Did it come on a truck from 5 million miles away? Did it come from like China? Did it come from China in a cargo carrier? Because if it did, I can guarantee they didn't have AC on that fucker the whole time. So that's the problem with it. Now, if you got your own plastic bottle or whatever, I wouldn't say that that's not necessarily the worst thing ever. But yeah, bottled water is bad for you. I mean, it's not that it gets bad for you guys, but it's not optimal. That's for sure. Matt W says, the weirdest thing I've seen on men lately is tits. The dudes weren't even that fat, just pudgy. Yeah. I mean, that is a hormonal imbalance right there. Nick's Legend says, humans are very fat compared to chimpanzees. Chimps run around 1 to 2% body fat. That's correct. They are all muscle and way stronger than humans pound for pound. Very correct. But that's also, I believe, Nick, that because the diet that chimps eat, they don't have the reserve of food to be able to have something that can be used as stored fat. And also, I think how their body mechanics work. But you're definitely correct about that. That's 100% true. Sunscreen does. Yeah, sunscreen's bad for you too, guys. Randall J says aiming for 15% body fat was around 29% body fat. Another thing too, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Good. That's a good job, Randall. Keep going. I didn't mean to cut you off or cut off me reading your own comment. But other thing, guys, sunscreen. Think about this. I'm not saying sometimes you should just wear fucking sunscreen if you're so pasty white and you haven't been on the sun in like 10 years, and maybe just one time might be good for you. But you ever find it weird that there's a whole industry of like selling this thing to put all over your skin that humans didn't need or use for like thousands of years, and all of a sudden we all need it? Maybe if you just simply got like one sunburnt and you'd be okay, like, and then you just wrote the peeling out, the next time the new skin would heal. Maybe our body would be smart and strong enough to make sure that that's not going to be a problem the next time, right? Let's see. Vitamin D is a hormone. Yes, Max, vitamin D is a hormone. Pure has charcoal layer. Yep. I'm sure it does if it's good. Topo Chico is the best anatomy. I love Topo Chico, my friend. I love Topo Chico. Just wish they made bigger bottles. All pop flavor is made from stem cells? No way. Really? But Emery says, Rich Cooper did a stream about all kinds of products are estrogenic. I didn't realize. Yeah, I mean, dude, like, I don't even need to do that in this stream, because I would pretty much just say, like, you can just assume if it's not a bottle of testosterone, it's probably got some sort of estrogenic kind of like chemical in it. I'm saying that facetiously, but I'm kind of not joking. Matt W says, if Josh drinks any BPA water that he reserves in his huge jawline, only shrink a little bit. LOL. Yeah. Okay. So guys, so another thing. You guys know, I told you guys earlier, I lost my natty card in 2016. So, I no longer participate in the sport of bodybuilding. So I do not consume the same level of recreational these things, right? Recreationally, right? But I am essentially like on this is not legal advice. And again, this isn't even real. Everything I'm about to say isn't even real. I'm not talking about actually me. I'm talking about Josh in a video game. Josh in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. That Josh is virtually perpetually going to be on TRT for the rest of that Josh's life. All right. And there's several reasons for that. But one was because it was my choice. All right. So when in the video game, of course, in Vice City, when I decided at the age of 24 that I wanted to take STEROIDS. I did it because I had been participating in the hobby of bodybuilding for like close to like 6 years already, right? And I didn't have much more room to like grow, if you know what I mean. And I was trying to compete in a sport where it was essentially required to do so and accelerate it. So, I mean, and plus, guys, because I just wanted to do it, okay? I'm not going to sit here and justify myself like, you got to take steroids if you want to compete in bodybuilding, which is a fact, but at least 99.99% of people do. But I just wanted to do it, right? I wanted to do it because I just wanted to, okay? Just like how if a girl wants to be more feminine, wants to get fake boobs. Like, she does it because she wants to. I did it because I want to. And I knew what I was getting into. I can go off everything and be okay, all right? But I don't live the same quality of life as I would elsewhere. It can be done. It can be done, okay? But it would be so meticulous and so time consuming for me to do that correctly because I would have to basically that would be like an 18-month process. In fact, now it's been so long, it'd probably be like a 3-year long process. And it makes no sense, right? It makes no sense for me to do that. But I've never on paper so far, I've been okay, but I've risked my ability to efficiently and effectively produce my own testosterone. So as far as I know, I could need this for the rest of my life, right? That being said, because of that, I knew what I was getting into, and I still decided to make that choice because I wanted to. Because in my mind, I thought of it like this: like, okay, so I have all these like crazy things going on in the environment. I can either be extremely, first of all, I want to compete in bodybuilding. All right, I want to compete in bodybuilding. That's what I want to do. But the reason why it's stayed over afterwards and continued to partake in these activities because my mind did this. Okay, so I can either be extremely meticulous and have to fight in a battlefield of negativity as far as regards to my hormones, and I have to like be super careful with what water I drink. I have to be super careful with the foods I eat, which regardless I still do. Right, I'm still pretty careful with that stuff. But I mean, I'm not sweating on whether or not I drink some Nestle bottle of water from the gas station because I am in control. I'm sovereign with my own hormones. Now, that sounds retarded, but to me that is important. Okay, it's important for me because the world is after my hormones and attacking my hormones. It's important for me to be in control of that. Okay, at least for me. It might not be for everybody, but it is for me. And so I decided I'd rather live my life not having to be concerned about that than to constantly be concerned about that. Also, at the same time, my thought process behind it was like, the same thing I believe about like retirement and saving a bunch of money in your 401k. Like if I have to wait until if I have to depend off of a 401k to be quote unquote rich or wealthy, and I have to wait till I'm like 70 years old to like get that shit like handed out to me on a monthly stipend basis, then it's no point to me, right? I'd rather live optimally now on my terms and put my money where I want to put it, right? So that's the reason why. But what was the point of that? Oh, yeah. Because I don't want to Mad W's. Yeah, I don't have to stress over like drinking like a couple like plastic bottles of water. Do I still do it? No, I don't drink plastic bottles of water, but unless I'm like really thirsty, I'm not gonna like. I'm at the point like I didn't want to like have to be so anal about it to where I can't feel comfortable stopping at a gas station for water on a road trip, right? Veneer says, what are your thoughts on boron and selenium supplementation for testosterone? Apparently, guys are very lacking these two minerals. Guys are not, they are lacking in boron and selenium, but they're not just lacking in those. They're lacking in literally every single mineral. In fact, most people are like literally sodium deficient. You guys probably don't even know that, but most people are sodium deficient because everyone's like scared of fucking salt. I don't know how how salt and sodium, like this food is low sodium. Like, especially if you're an athlete, dude, you need a fuck ton of salt if you're an athlete. So most people are just mineral deficient in general, but I think those are great, man. If you can, there's nothing wrong with supplementing with minerals. If you can have the money to afford the extra supplementation with minerals, do it. If it's too much money, then don't worry about it. But Chad Dominance says his voice. Chad Donerschwanz. Dude, that is a strong name. Holy shit, that's a strong name. The name blew my mind. How long does? Oh yeah, his choice. I get it. From the rainbow people. How long does exogenous testosterone keep for? Can you hoard it like Twinkies? Okay, so depends on who you're asking. You're asking the pharmaceutical companies who purposely that make this stuff, who purposely have to have a regulated by law minimum amount of time that they can say is good for, and also even lower that time even more because they want to be able to tell you that it's better for you to throw it away, so you have to go and buy more from them? Or are you asking me? Because if you'd ask them, they would say probably about like 3 to 5 years. If you'd ask me, probably about like 10 years. But it all depends too on the quality of how it was made and where you got it from. So I mean, if you got it from a lab, like a pharmacy, I know personally people who have had some rare elder injectables that were like 15 years old and got blood work and they worked just fine. So you never know. Matt W says, I've been looking into cell salts. I'm not sure what cell salts is. Christian Soda says, would you recommend those high pH water bottles? Let me see. What are those things? Let me see. Is that what Pablo has? You mean high pH water bottles? Let's see. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Those are like those. Okay, I better start with your water bottle. Essentials 9%. I mean, it's just like a metallic water bottle that keeps your like. Yeah, I mean, I would rather keep my water in something metallic. Like I think these look like those like Yeti cups than like plastic bottle, right? And plus, it's just they're more durable too, so you don't have to like buy a bunch of them. Plastic's bad because it's bad for the fucking environment. People just throw it everywhere. That's why you shouldn't drink plastic. That's the real reason why you shouldn't be plastic either. But Nick Schledgen says alkaline water. I'm not convinced. You need your stomach acidity, in my understanding. Yes, you do. However, it is beneficial to have alkaline water in the morning and like kind of like alkalinize your body because honestly, Nick, most people you need stomach acidity, but your stomach can actually adjust its acidity level based off of its environmental factors at the time. Your body, most human bodies are way more acidic and also inflamed than they are alkaline and not inflamed. So, and that's for a majority of us. So it's actually good if you can have like some alkaline water, like first thing in the morning, empty stomach. That's actually like, dude, every time I do that, and every time when I prepped for a show, I would always do that. Every single morning, the first thing I would do was slam some alkaline water, and you feel so good after that. Matt W says, Google cell salt deficiency sometimes. All right, man, I definitely will. Okay, fellas. Guys, a 2-hour stream. So hope we all learned something today. Again, don't forget, my friends, most of you guys have already taken your Crimson capsule. Don't forget to take this one, okay? Take the orange pill, all right? And then also, finally, take the soy pill, all right? Be aware of these things. Question why things are the way they are. And make the decision of your life because you should be free to do what you please. As long as it doesn't harm or affect anyone else negatively. That's all I got tonight, guys. Please, guys, if you're in here and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Show me some love. Like the video as well. The liking does nothing for the algorithm, but it just makes me feel good. So please, guys, give me a little bit of dopamine, guys. And then also, guys, if there's something in here tonight that I did not touch upon that you would like to hear about, leave a comment below in the comment section. And if it's actually something that's like good and not dumb, I will definitely touch on it on the next podcast or other than that. So guys, that's all I got. I'm out. I will see you guys later. Don't forget, take the orange pill, take the soy pill, take the death pill, and take the RED pill. Later, guys.